Okay, welcome back, students. It's Mr. Morris. We are in CAD 140 today, and I have passed out two worksheets for us to work on. One is called CAD 140 Template 1, and we're going to create exactly what's on that paper, but then we're going to modify it some, so ours could be a little different. And so we're going to be using AutoCAD for that one. And that would be the first video. The second video that we create today will be the drill drift. It's a tool that we are contemplating making in the machine shop, okay? And the drill drift is used to remove components of the drill press. The Morse taper is a fit between the tooling and the spindle, and it is difficult to break loose without a drill drift. And we'll be able to show you how that works, okay? All right, without further ado, I think we're going to start off with the AutoCAD work first, and then that will be one video, and then we'll do the inventor assignment. That will be video number 2. And then with any time remaining, you'll be able to work on stuff in the class. We'll see how it goes, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I already have AutoCAD open. So you should be seeing AutoCAD, right? And it says I am making a video here, a recording, so that's good. All right. I know some of y'all have not had too much practice with AutoCAD, and we haven't had too much practice with Inventor, but y'all are doing really well. I'm very proud of you. So we're going to go to, I'm going to do this slowly. All right, no need to stress out. By the way, there are undo buttons and also in AutoCAD, right? Just like we have with Inventor. So go to New right here and click on New. And when you do, you have this blank screen that comes up that looks like this, right? And we have practiced with this a little bit already, but there's more to do. You don't become an expert in one day, right? And the first thing I want to do is create, if you look on the first worksheet that I gave you, the CAD 140 template, we're going to make that. Now we're going to do a few things differently. This one doesn't have a border. We are going to create a border for it, and we're all going to do it the same layer for right now. I don't want to confuse the situation by talking about layers today, but layers are important, and we'll be talking about layers a little bit down the road, okay? Now, before we get started, don't do anything but just watch. I want to show you a few little things that are neat tricks. So you'll be able to keep your lines perfectly horizontal and perfectly vertical as we do this assignment. So just watch, don't do anything here for right now. I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on line. And I'm going to click anywhere on the screen for my starting point. Now, notice, I want you to notice something. What do we have? We have a floating dimension and we have a floating angle, right? I can change those at any time. But what if I know the length okay, but I don't want it to be at an angle. I want it to be at 0 degrees and 90 only, right? So if I hit the F8 key on my keyboard, notice what happens. If I hit the F8, if I hit the F8 again, look, it goes back. Hit F8. That's the function key, right? Hit F8 again, and you see you're allowed a little freedom there, right? So that's a nice feature, especially for this assignment. So now, if you want to learn where the undo button is, up here at the very top on the menu, it's undo. Click that undo button if you need to, and it takes me back to where I was. All right. So what we're going to make kind of looks like a combination of a field goal field goal post and a Y. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this shape that kind of looks like a Y. And we are going to dimension it and so forth. So you get some practice with dimensioning. And then we're going to make some modifications to it. All right. All right, here we go. So click on line and come down. I would come down roughly about right here. So again, you can zoom in and pan just like you do in Inventor. But I'm going to click right there. All right. I've anchored my line is kind of going different angles and so forth. I don't want to do that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hit F8. All right. So now we have a line anchored. All right. It's anchored and it's moving perfectly horizontal. So you see the angle is not really changing, but the dimension's still changing. And we're going to make this first dimension, if you're with me, we're going to make it 2. And then we're going to enter. All right. Now, at this point, you can rotate your scroll wheel some if you need to zoom in. You can also pan. All right. So what I want to do now is go up. And I'm going to go up 2 inches. And hopefully you see where I'm at. Now I'm going to make a right-hand turn here. And how far do you think I'm going to go this way? Does anybody want to take a guess? 1. Very good. See how good you guys are? 1. All right. I'm going to go up. And does anybody want to guess how far this dimension is? 2, right? And it's like follow the leader. The line is following the cursor. I'm going to go this way. How far? 1. Come down. How much? 1. How far? 1. We're going to go back up 1. Y'all getting tired of me asking, right? I'm going to go back 1 this way. Then we're going to come back down this way. How much? 2. We're going to come back this way. 1. We're going to come down 1. We're going to go 1. And what happens is, as you get to the end, you will notice that your cursor wants to snap to that endpoint. See that little green dot? We're going to click right there. And then we're going to do a right click with your mouse, do a right click and select enter. Now, if your shape looks like that, congratulations, you have completed the geometry. And raise your hand if you want just a couple more minutes with this one. Everyone seems to be with me? Okay. All right, now we need to add some dimensions to this. Now watch how I'm going to do this. First of all, I want to see what the default dimensions look like. Basically, the number of decimal places, size of the text, arrow size, the extension line gap that we have between the object line and the extension line, and the extension, it's like the tail end of the extension line. So up here on your menu, you have linear. There's a linear dimension, but here's other ones too. You just arrow down. We're going to use linear right now. And I'm going to come here and I can zoom in. I can pan. Click here. Click here. And I'm going to drag my dimension down. Now, let's say I want to change this a little bit. Okay. Let's say I want to make the text. The text actually looks pretty good. But if you want to know what the size of your text is, type in DIM-TXT, which stands for dimension text, and enter. Now the default is 0.18. Okay, the default is 0.18. And we can play with that some if you want to. We can change it a little bit. So let's make it I don't know, 0.125, just for a second. Enter. Now it's not going to change the one that you just placed. Now, but what I'm going to show you here is, let's go ahead and dimension that again, just for the fun of it. Now, I know I have two of them there. I don't need two of them. Okay, so there you go. Do you see a difference in the text size? Do you see that this text is smaller than this? Okay. All right, now the arrow size is still the same. What I have noticed, it seems to work pretty good. Whatever your text size is, you should make your arrow size the same. What do you mean, Mr. Morris? Well, I'm going to erase this. I'm going to click on this and just hit the delete button. Now, so I taught the first command, dim txt. And by the way, there's other ways to do this. I'm just kind of showing you the hard way right now. I'm going to type in dimazz. DIMASZ stands for dimension arrow size. Okay. And I'm going to enter that here. And notice it's 0.18. Okay, which is the same size of my that I had from my letters, or text rather. Well, let's make it 0.125 and then enter. Now our dimension text should be 0.125 and our arrows. Again, that's always worked for me. You might want to do a little bit different design. It's up to you. I'm going to go and put that dimension there again. Don't worry, we're going to finish this rather quickly. I'm just showing you your options here. All right, now you notice what? The text is smaller. And so is the arrow size. Now I like the gap. The gap is also here. Now how do you alter this? How do you change that gap dimension? Well, that's really called a dimension offset. So what you do is you type in DIMEXO, which stands for dimension extension offset. Dimension extent. Well, this is the extension line right here. This is the extension line. And the offset is that distance. This is the object line. And that gap there is called the offset. Look what it says, 0.0625. So that is the default. I could make that a little larger. I could make it 0.125. You see where I'm going with this? I've made all three of them now 0.125. Now, I'm going to delete, type in E, enter. I'm going to click on this one and click on this one. And I'm going to put another dimension here. Now you'll see what? The dim gap is pretty, it's a nice gap there, right? Now, that gap looks pretty, pretty wide there, but I think I'm going to change it back to 0.0625, which is a 16th. So type in DIMEX0, and I'm going to put in 0.0625 and enter. I like that better. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to show you again. All right. Now, look here. You see that gap right there? That's nice. So our text is what? 0.125. Arrow size is 0.125. Our gap, or DIMEXO, is 0.062. But look at this extension. From this point to see how long that is, maybe you don't want it that long. Maybe you don't want that long. If I type in DIMEXE and enter here, all right, the dimension is 0.18. Let's change it to 0.125 and enter. And what I'm going to do just so you have a comparison here, is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put a vertical dimension here. I put a vertical. Now notice, I don't know if you actually can see from here to here is 0.125. See how long it is here compared to here? You see that? All right. So I like this here. The last thing I want to do is change the number of decimal places. So we could have done all of this in this dialog box. Type in DDIM, DDIM, and you go to enter, and you have this dialog box that comes up, and we want to modify. And when you do, if you come over here to, you have these tabs, right? You have these tabs. Click on primary units and go to precision. How many decimal places do we have on our drawing that I handed out? We have 1 decimal place. And see, we have a picture of what that looks like. And I'm okay with that. And I'm going to select OK. And then we have to select set current and then close. Now, the last thing I want to point out to you, if we start getting carried away with dimensioning this, we have all of our dim settings. All of our dim settings are set. I want to show you, you see the spacing between the object line and the dimension line? You see that spacing right there? You want that to be consistent. Let me show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll get started finishing this up. If you dimension the horizontal dimension here, right? Look. And, right, you do that. What you don't want to do is come over here and do that. Here's why. You want your dimensions spacing. You want your spacing between the dimensions and object lines to be consistent. This is not consistent. You could just really click on there and then click on the grip. Let me show you what I just did. I clicked on it, and there's a little, by the way, to get out of that, you just hit the escape a couple of times. Okay, I clicked on it. There's a little grip box. I clicked in the grip box, and I just kind of did it by eye. There you go. Hit the escape. All right. So I'm happy with those dimensions there. Okay. So now we're going to get started. I'm going to erase these two. I'm going to work my way around the part. All right. So again, you can rotate your scroll wheel, zoom it out. You can pan. It makes it easier sometimes when you're laying out your dimensions. All right. I'm going to go to linear. And I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on this intersection and this intersection. And I'm going to place my first dimension about right there. Click. I'm going to zoom out, right? And you have a worksheet to go by. I'm going to put a vertical dimension right here and right here. And I'm going to drag it out. Now, Mr. Morris, I thought you said you wanted the dimension to be consistent. I do. I do want the dimension to be consistent. But in this particular case, I have 2 dimensions that I want to keep lined up. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to move this back to about right there. And so it didn't go. Let's see what happens. It didn't want to move. I can't move that time. All right, to move it, you just click on it, click on the little grip at the middle, and you can move it, click, and then you hit the escape key a couple times, and it gets out of that mode. All right, I'm going to click on this. That's too far. That's too far from the object line. And you're going to see why I did this in a minute. Click, and I'm going to bring it, put it about right there. Click, hit the escape a couple times. All right, now, Mr. Morris, like I said, you're too far away here, right? You're too far away. Well, here's why. Because when I put the one at the top, look, I'm also going to put one here. And by the way, this is not the best way to dimension this, right? This is just getting some practice dimensioning, but there's rules and regulations associated with dimensioning that we'll talk more later. Right now, I'm just trying to get you to learn how to use this tool. All right, so look what happens. I want this to line up with this to look. You see that little, it's going to snap. See, it's going to snap right to the arrow, tip of the arrow. Click. Now those dimensions are lined up. You see that? That's why I did it that way. Otherwise, you don't have to do this. Otherwise, it's going to look like this. And I don't think that looks as good. Okay. You can do that, but I think this looks better. I'm just going to hit my undo button. I kept hitting my undo button to get back to where I was at previously. It made it easier for me. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to use, again, we're going to keep, actually, you can just watch and do. You don't, I don't need to do everything here, just, and it doesn't have to be exactly like the first one I did either. Okay. In the real world, this is not how we would dimension this, but for right now, this is how I want to do it. Okay. So after a while, it gets to be kind of fun, maybe, for some of you. Huh. I've always enjoyed CAD. I'm going to put a dimension up here at the very top that I didn't put before. Again, we're not we're not following the rules and regulations of dimensioning here. Okay, we're just practicing using the tool. All right. Raise your hand if you were able to do this successfully. Only 2 people? Nobody else were able to do it? Now, what if you wanted to change the color of the dimensions? I want to change the color of the dimensions, okay? I'm not making layers, not yet. I just want to change the color of the dimensions. Type in the word change and then enter. Now it says select the objects you want to change. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select all of my dimensions, okay? All of them. There's also other faster ways to do this. I'm not concerned about faster right now. All right, I've selected all my dimensions. I'm going to enter. Then we're going to type in the letter P for property. Type in, see down the lower at the very bottom. If you type in P and enter, that is property. Now we want to change the color. You can click on it down here, or you can click on it right here, change the color. And we're going to type in red. Type in red, enter, and then enter again. Did y'all get it? Okay, I'm going to show you one more time. Maybe you can write down the commands as we go along. It's up to you. Watch carefully. Look, I hit the undo button. All the dimensions went back to a white color. So I'm typing change. We want to change something. Enter. What do I want to change? I want to change the color of my dimensions. So I'm going to select my dimensions. All right. And I'm going to enter. Now, down here, it wants me to, do I want to change the point or I want to change properties? So type in P or click on this. Now I want to click on color because I want to change the color and I want to change it to red. Enter, enter again. All right. So hopefully you were able to successfully change your color of your dimensions. I'm going to show you one other thing that's new to you that we didn't do last time we did this assignment. The previous class, rather, we didn't do this. Up on your menu bar, I want you to go to this option right here, this menu item. And I want you to arrow down and we're going to select hatch. Right now, I'm just going to use the default. All I want you to do, I'm just using the default. All I want you to do is move your cursor within the boundaries of the geometry with it inside and click and then enter. This is called hatching. Were you able to do that, May? Okay, cool. Am I? Were you able to do that? Okay, I'm gonna undo this. I'm gonna go to right here, hatch. I'm going to move my cursor inside of the geometry and I'm going to click and then I'm going to enter and that's it. Hopefully you'll be able to figure that out. Any questions? All right, now what we're going to do, I told you I want to make a few changes, not many, but just a few. And I want to use the same geometry I have here. I want to use the copy command up here on your menu bar. You can select copy. Then you do a click and you drag a window around all of your geometry. Click again. So you click twice, right? And then you enter. Now it says select a base point. Well, I can select any point I wish. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click. And then I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to undo this. If you messed up or you weren't able to get started with me, I'm going to undo mine. Now watch, I'm going to do it again. Copy. There's my cursor. Click. Drag a window around it. Click. Enter. Now it wants to say specify a base point. That's what the floating menu says to do. So I'm going to select right here, this intersection right here, click. Now, watch if you hit F8, say turn F8 on to keep it lined up. If you turn F8 off, you're not going to be lined up. So I'm going to turn F8 on and I'm going to click and I'm going to enter. Hopefully you were successful in making a copy. Raise your hand if you'd like me to do that again. I can do it again. Okay, so you're good. I assume that when you don't raise your hand, when we do it again? Do you want me to do it again? Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the undo button here. So we're right here, right? I'm gonna select copy. See my cursor right there? I'm gonna click, drag a window around it. And then I'm gonna click down here. So I've selected all my geometry now. Once I did the 2 clicks, selected all my now I hit enter. Then my floating menu, what does my floating menu say with the cursor? That's the floating menu. What does it say? Specify base point. Well, I can specify any point on the screen I want to, but I chose this intersection. It's going to snap to the intersection. I chose this intersection right here. Click, and I'm going to come over this way, right? And I'm going to click, and then I'm going to hit escape a couple times. It gets me out of that mode. Were you successful this time? Very good. I can zoom out here. Okay. Now, we're going to make some modifications to this one. Okay. Doesn't it sound exciting? Y'all seem to be very excited this morning. All right. We're going to erase, type in E, enter, and we're going to erase all of these dimensions. There's an easier way to do this, and I know I'm making you do the hard way right now. Once you've selected all of them, they'll be grayed out. Hit the enter button. Then I'm also going to delete the hatch. I just clicked on it and hit delete. All right. We're going to do something different this time. We're going to do exactly what they did last time, but we're going to make another modification as well. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to circle, and we're going to select circle 2 point. One more time. Go to circle, arrow down, and select 2 point circle. And look, I want you to click here, and I want you to select this point. Watch, I'm going to undo it. I'm going to undo it. Go to circle, go select 2 point circle. I'm going to click on a point here. I'm going to click on a point here. And it creates a beautiful circle for us. But we don't want our circle to look like this. We want to trim some of this away. So if you go to the trim function, looks like a pair of scissors, click on trim. And I want you to click on this shape here, or this arc, and then click on that line, and then enter. All right. Now, I want to put a circle in the center of this arc here. Go to circle, go to center diameter. One more time, go to circle and select center diameter. When you move your cursor, what happens? It tells you where the center is at. Look, you just got to move your cursor over near the arc. Once you see your center, click on it, and we're going to drag out a circle that's 0.5 inches in diameter. Enter. Okay, you hit escape a couple times to get out of that mode. Were you successful in creating that circle? I see some thumbs going up. Okay. Now, like I said, we're going to make ours a little bit different than before. So what we want to do is we want to go to circle, center diameter. Actually, I want to select 2 point. Select circle, select 2 point. I'm going to click here and here. All right. One more time. I'm going to undo it. I want circle, 2 point, click here and here. Then I'm going to go to trim, and I'm going to trim this out. And then I'm going to go to circle again, diameter. I'm going to click in here. As soon as I see my center come up, click, and I'm going to drag out 1.25 circle, enter. So we made ours different. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to put a couple of center marks where the circles are at. Mr. Morris, where are the center marks? Go to annotate, right here, annotate. Come over here, center mark, click on this, and click on the circle, click on the circle. Enter. Now we have to add some dimensions here. All right, so go back to annotate, and we're going to go to dimension and select not linear, arrow down. We want to select radius first. Click on radius. Now watch. Click on this arc, drag your dimension away right there. And I'm going to click on this one. Radius, click on radius. And actually, what I want to do, I'm sorry, click on diameter, and we're going to click on this one. Now notice I didn't put the dimensions on the same side. You know why? I'm trying to balance out my geometry. So think of your dimensions like being weights, right? If I put both of them over here, it's going to look congested looking. It's just better to spread them out a little bit. Okay, one more time. I'm going to go to diameter and look here. Click here. And then I'm going to go to radius and I'm going to click here. Notice I did not put the dimensions on the same side. And I think that's good. Now we want to change, we can change the dimensions to be red. Okay. So you could type in change, enter, select dimensions, enter, type in P for property, enter, select color. And if you want to, you can make these green. It doesn't matter. We're just practicing. Enter, enter again. All right, so that's what we want the dimensions to be green, okay? All right, now, here's our two parts. And I think I'm happy with this. As far as a border, I don't think I'm going to create a border today. What I am going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a temporary border. So you can zoom in and out, right? You can pan just like before. Go back to home. Go back to home up here at the top left-hand corner. And I want you to go to rectangle right here. See where it says rectangle. And I want you to click here and I want you to drag. Now, notice I haven't put any dimensions in here. So again, I'm not going to make this exactly 8.5 by 11 right here. Well, I guess I could. I could make this 11 and then tab over and make this 8.5. Enter. Mr. Morris, what have you done? The border's going through the geometry and all kind of stuff here. I can move that. Watch. Look, we can go to move. Click on the rectangle. Right? Enter. And then you can click anywhere on the screen and you can reposition this. Now, I want you to notice something. I'm barely getting it in there. Hit the F8 button. Hit the F8 button and you can move it wherever you want to. Hit F8 again. It's a little more restrictive here. You can only go horizontal, vertical. Hit the F8 button and you can move. Now, watch what I'm going to do. Still not. I'm going to place it about right there. Mr. Morris, what have you done? You still have you got a problem over here. Well, watch this. I can go to move, click, drag a window around the geometry, click, enter, and you just click anywhere on the screen. And I'm going to, now, notice this. We don't want that. Hit the F8 button, and we can reposition this as needed. So practice that some. What I'm going to do now, well, last thing before we print this out, I'm going to go to text. Going to go to text right here and single line text. And all I want you to do is click on your template somewhere about right here, maybe, and select enter. And we're going to hit enter again because we want the rotation angle to be 0. And we're going to type in the text. And I'm going to type in my name. And then I'm going to hit click, enter. I did a click and then an enter. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to erase it. Okay. You go to home. Here's text. Select single line of text. And I'll come down here about right here. Click. It says specify the height of the text. Well, a 0.2 is fine for me. Okay. Enter. Don't make it 2 inches though. That would be too big. Specify the rotation angle. I'm gonna leave it at 0. Enter. Now it wants me to enter the text. All capital letters. All capital letters. Then I'm gonna click on the screen anywhere and hit enter. And I'm out of the command. Now, if I want to move this over, all I gotta do is click on it, click on the grip, and just slide it over some. Click. Escape, escape. I want you to work, if you haven't figured this out, you can work together with a classmate today to finish this up. Hopefully you were able to stay with me on the geometry, but if not, you certainly can, practice with this. Now I want to plot this. Right? Type in the word plot. Enter. Now, we have to come in here and we have to select the name of our plotter. Well, if you arrow down, this is room 1113. So we're going to select this printer. And I'm going to let you actually print yours out today. Now, the paper size is letter. I'm okay with letter size. Come down to display. Arrow down with display, and we're going to select window. I want you to select this corner, and I want you to select this corner. And then I want you to select center the plot. And then I want you to do a preview of that. There you go. Look how beautiful that looks, right? Then I want you to enter, and it's going to say down here, lower right-hand corner, go ahead and select OK because you're happy with your print. Now I'm printing mine out. If you printed yours out, you're welcome to come over here and get it. Now, how do you submit this? How do you submit this? I don't want this. I don't want you to give me this. This is for you, a souvenir for you to take home. Well, how do you submit this? All right, is you're gonna do a plot. Type in plot. Yes. You have to speak louder. How to print? Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that now. Type in plot. Enter. Select the name of your plotter. But this time, okay, so if you're going to print it out on the printer here, this is our room number 1113. Click on that. Okay. Now letter size is fine because 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Display. Come to display. Arrow down and select window. Now you select this corner. Boom. Select this corner. Boom. Center the plot. Preview. See what it looks like. I like that. Okay. Enter. And you would select okay. And I'm printing another one. Now, but you're not going to submit that. You're not going to give me this paper here. What I need for you to do is I need for you to send me a PDF of this. Mr. Morris, how do I create a PDF of this? Here's how you create a PDF. To create a PDF of this, we're going to type in plot. Okay. Enter. Now be very careful. Instead of selecting a plotter, look here. We're going to come down, look here, and we're going to select AutoCAD PDF right here. Then we're going to do the same thing. Make sure your paper size is a size A. So AutoCAD PDF here, size A here. Go to display and select window. Select this corner, select this corner. Center your plot, preview, and enter, and select OK. Now it's giving you a chance to enter a file name. Well, we're going to call this, hang on just a second. We're going to call this CAD 140 template dash. I'm going to pick the next one I have. So I'm going to pick 4. You can call yours 1, 2, or 3, but just go ahead and call it 4 to be consistent. And we're going to save this, but make sure you note the directory. Okay, make sure you know where the directory is so you can find the file. Save. There you go. There's your PDF. That's what it looks like. Now, why do we need a PDF? I've mentioned this to you a few times. Why do we need a PDF? Can we just send the DWG file to anyone? That's the AutoCAD drawing file. What happens if they don't have AutoCAD? They can't open up the drawing, right? All right, so this is what you will submit. Okay, this is what you will submit. Any questions? All right, I'm going to stop the share here. And I'm going to stop this recording because we're done with this video. Hopefully you can go back and watch this video if you need to. I think what I might do is let this be it for today so you can practice with this some. So I'm going to stop my recording. So everyone online, good seeing you, and see you soon. I want to stop the recording, yes.